fashion? Fashion is
an expression of being your authentic self.
The billboard of oneself.
It's fun, it's exciting, sometimes frustrating, finding the right fit.
It's really learning about what a person needs, what void is out there in the industry.
A creative spirit to be able to weave the fabric together to make an ensemble, which is what clothing really is.
Really an experience or an expression of what's happening in the world today, and then how you as a person are taking that experience of living in this world and expressing it through how you see it and how you want others to view you in that world.
Fashion shows have evolved even in the industry from more salon style, which is walking through rooms. Fashion shows typically are not really as large as a scale that we have, based upon, who we were as O'Moore when we were growing, realized that it is the main marketing tool for the fashion program.
When thinking about that first fashion show, my goal for the students was to empower them, to take control, think about where they started, and then going all the way to the runway, led up to the completion, hitting a deadline, and really giving them confidence.
The fashion show puts into application all the fundamentals that you learn along the way. So if you go back to your pattern and go back to tech design and just making sure that you're building all the right products, because now we've got to put it on a model and it has to fit. And whenever she's walking, it has to have the functionality. So it's just the expectations of having something look pretty on a silhouette are one thing, but whenever you have a wear and it has to fit and function, it's a lot harder than it looks.
Learning how to sew the industrial machines, straight stitch, buttonhole machine, walking foot machine, draping, fashion illustration, freehand sketching, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Microsoft Excel, pivot table, the lookup, stitch link, and merchandising, entrepreneurship in textiles, fashion forecasting. My gosh, I know I'm leaving probably a lot off the table.
So, day of fashion show, you're very nervous. You're like, what could go wrong? Is a sleeve gonna fall off? Is a hem gonna come undone? Is someone gonna trip? Are people not gonna like it? And so you're nervous all day. You get backstage. It's very, very hectic backstage. It's so much fun though, but people are just ripping clothes off. You're trying on shoes, and there's a team of people for each model. It comes a point where you just have to release it into the world and then just dance and be happy about it and let it go.
I would go back in a heartbeat, to be honest. It was really such an amazing experience to be able to do that. The camaraderie, the collective, if you will, of ideas and stuff like that, I think that is just something I miss greatly about school, and it will forever be my fondest memory of taping things on the wall, putting things on foam core, and being like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Or oh, we should all do this. And I really do miss that, because once you kind of get into the industry, it's very much this is my silo, this is what I design in, this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I do every day.
It goes back to everything that I learned from school and from the fashion program that I didn't think mattered at the time, from Textiles 101 to understand cotton versus polyester, global sourcing, manufacturing, in the sense of all the school applications. Everything we learned in school, I use every day. In our hospitality market, I built new robes for sandals down in the Caribbean, literally hand sketching what that was going to look like with their designer, and how we bring that to life. So I still use all the same applications. I just didn't realize back then how important they would be.
They fostered my ideas. They were always encouraging. They let us explore. Everything wasn't just about grades. It was about pushing your mind, pushing the boundary. It wasn't all about technique and skill. It was what you can do, what do you want to do, and really expressing yourself. And I think that's incredibly important. And that's what I try to do in my classrooms. I start each semester, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then I try to foster that class into their ideals, and I try to really push them. And sometimes that can be hard. I know some of my students are listening to this, but y'all are doing great, and I just want to encourage you all to be your best.